Dad and I are in a race to win the Premier League. We started off in the Vanarama National League with Sutton and Hartlepool United. But as we go into season number 21, I am just about getting over the most devastating last game of the season loss when Liverpool snatched the title away from my Sutton side. Which of course keeps Dad's hope of completing the challenge before me still alive. And he starts this season signing Pedro Sano, a Portuguese striker from Sporting, to join João Veloso up top for 35 million. As well as making the big decision to accept a £40 million bid for a legend of Hartlepool, Lasse Alves, who has been with Dad for a very long time. I got a lot of my transfer business done early and have a couple of free transfers to go with a marquee signing of a world-class right-back from Brighton for 85 million. However, I have a bigger concern, and that is the amount of injuries, with at least 5 injuries in mid-July, and some of them are for significant lengths of time. I have also decided to sign Memphis Depay. That's my new assistant manager, and look how good he is. Dad had a tricky start to the season though, facing the current champions Liverpool at Anfield in his first game, but he was ready to shock the league with the early fixture. Right, Dad, we said goodbye to one of your best all-time players, I think. Lasse Alves.
I just had to get some money in. He was the only player that was anybody wanted out of my team, so yeah, I got some money in so I could sort of get a few more players in and needed a bit more of a squad players in the team as well. So yeah,
coming off the back of his best season with 19 assists, binned him off to Saudi Arabia with Al Ittihad.
But that's where the money is, so that's where he's gone. So yeah.
£40 million, and that allowed you to bring in a few players. You started off with Pedro Sano, so pretty much using most of your budget on Pedro Sano from Sporting to go up front with Veloso. So we've got a double Portuguese strike force there.
I mean, he is good as well. And 22, nice youngster as well. So yeah,
good player. Can also fill in midfield if you needed to.
That was the main thing. That's the spine of the attack, really, isn't it? And he's 2-footed as well. So, and quite good with both feet as well. So
only 22. Yeah, bit of a potential there. Then we've got a new goalkeeper coming in, £14 million. Challenge for your goalkeeper position.
It's a bit of a challenge, but I mean, Esposito was a really good keeper, so I needed a good second keeper just in case of any injuries. So I got this guy in,
Another Portuguese player too. Then Victor Lurven Skoid. Nailed it. Norwegian.
I mean, we see the right back. I've probably got one of the best right backs in the league with James. So it's just a replacement for him in case he gets injured. Really, he's not brilliant, but he's a good, I would say, average.
You were lacking players.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, he can play on both sides as well because he's 2-footed as well. So I've got to look at that as well.
From the Puskas Academia team, we've got £2.5 million for Daniel Toderas, from Romanian 18-year-old. I mean,
18, he looks quite good.
He does look quite good for 18, but he ain't going to do much now.
Look how good his potential is. So
loaned him out to Millwall.
Yeah, so I thought it was just a good buy, just in case, I needed him. A couple of seasons time, he could be good then. And
then finally, a free transfer, Lim Sang-kyung.
Yeah.
Striker. Not a bad one.
No, he's quick. It's good. He's quite good. But he's all right. He's 26. He's average, for this league, I think. But he's good to have in the squad.
Okay, well, tactically, 4-2-2, narrow, but with a right winger, because of course you still got Morel, who's a very good right midfielder, one of your best players, the Argentinian there. You've got like weird groups of nationalities. Portuguese striker. We got a Spanish midfield there. We've got Japan and Korea, the Asian centre backs that you've got there. So then there's like dotted around a couple of Argentinians, English and Scottish fullback, the British fullbacks there.
Yeah.
So right.
So the defence is more or less sort of half and half of British and then the rest,
Asian, and
then we just go then, don't we? Either, really, then.
Right, so let's have a look then, because you mentioned bringing in you already had one of the best right backs. I've just brought in what I think is maybe the world's best right back in Darren Mute, don't know. He's English from Brighton. I picked him up, world class, only 23 years of age. He is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He is phenomenal. And of course, he's got himself injured in August with a hernia.
Of course he did.
Because that's what happens to all of my new signings. Now, he's come through the Brighton Youth Academy. He is on par, as you can see down here, with Ronan, which means, finally, it might not put Ronan at right back. That's right. Without me having to select him there. £85 million. It was a lot of instalments. But I'm at a stage now where I think obviously I've just been robbed of the league title on the final day of the season. I have a good enough team to win the league title. I need to take it to the next step.
Yeah.
I need to start bringing in the world's best players in positions that I don't have elite players, and right back was one of those positions. I was trying to use Mateus last season, didn't quite work. Of course, the £16 million man that I got from Gremio, nowhere near the standard of Darren here. So there we go, but he wasn't the only signing. I think I've got some really good free transfers coming in as well. We got a good midfielder there in Daniel Schweischkamp. Nailed that too. Pascal Julian from PSG, a good striker who can drop in with good passing ability. Again, not bad for a free transfer. £5 million for a backup goalkeeper because I only had one, so that was a good signing. And Thomas Arias from Boca Juniors, £15 million for a centre-back who has a really good first touch, decent with both feet, great positioning, concentration, and decision-making. He has weaknesses on the pitch, but he is only 21, so he might get better and turn into a quality player. Tactically, sticking with a 4-4-2 or 4-2-2 narrow, and my best 11 does stick in a lot of the players, but I have had so many injuries at the start of this season, it might have already cost me. As you can see, I've got players recovering still with Darren and Ronan. Ronan's been out with a torn ankle ligament since the 2nd of August, so he's missed the whole of August and will miss quite a lot of September as well. So that's my best midfielder. And then my other midfielder is only just coming back from injury and hasn't really played at all this season. One appearance off the bench from the Carabao Cup. So my South African DM, who also plays centre-back. And I've also had injuries to Fourcade, who's been playing up front. Yeah, it's been a weird start of players missing for me.
Where's that bloke with a violin that you always gets to come in for me? I feel like he should be walking in there just giving it all this.
Yeah. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. We'll see. Because...
I was in tears then. You had me, I felt like... I just started breaking up, I thought, it's such a shame.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have dropped 5 points off the back of that, with losses to Manchester United and drawing to Newcastle. Funny that, because you drew to Manchester United, beat Newcastle, but lost to Arsenal. So we've had very similar starts, but you have just beaten
the champions
at Anfield.
Yes.
Good start.
I'll tell you what, that first game, you think you're playing the champions, your first game, and you beat them at their place.
Yeah.
I thought I was on a high then.
Yeah.
I thought this is it.
Beat Newcastle as well.
Go for it as well. You were getting all those injuries, you were doing poorly, and I'm there just taking over now.
Well, at least you're referencing the injuries. That's nice. But we are very similar in the league. We've got some chasing to do already because Norwich have won 4 from 4.
Norwich are gone, and they.
Yeah, Norwich are going to go on to
Catch
win
us if
this.
you can.
Where did Norwich finish last season? I don't remember them being very good last year. They're down in 10th, but they did win a cup.
Yeah.
So they're flying at the start of the season. They've won 4 games, haven't conceded a single goal either. One of them beating Manchester City 1-0. So they've had a great start to the season. But Tottenham have also only conceded 1 and scored 8, so they've also had a good enough start. But it is all about how we do this season. Can we recover? Because Liverpool's even lower than us, so the opportunity to get there could be in our hands this season. Let's find out. The first time we faced each other this season, it was in Europe as we clashed in the Champions League in Hartlepool, where an Ergulu goal sealed a late 2-1 win for Sutton. However, that was nothing in comparison to the second time we faced each other in mid-December, where I stuffed Dad 5-1. Those 3 points are actually what separates us at the halfway point in the league as well, as Dad sits in 4th place and I'm 4 points behind leaders Manchester City. Dad's side ended up slipping out of the title race in the second half of the season, while I just about clung on. In fact, I could still win the treble, as I'm only in 4th place but 3 points behind Manchester City, who I also have in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and I still have Liverpool to play in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. City gave me an embarrassing defeat, knocking me out of the Champions League though, but we put up much better performance in the FA Cup, defeating Liverpool 4-2 in the semi. In the league, I was still just 3 points behind Liverpool and Spurs this time at the top of the table, but I did have a game in hand, and Hartlepool to play next. And despite not being able to win the Premier League himself, Dad still made sure I couldn't, beating me 3-0. And the title was claimed by Spurs, who gained 2 more points than I did. We didn't go trophyless though, as for the second consecutive season, Sutton United are lifting the FA Cup with a 2-0 win over West Ham at Wembley. Oh, I'm getting so close.
Twice 2 seasons in a row.
Right, well,
2
FA
points.
Cup win against West Ham. Good finish to the season after the disappointment of the league. Winning FA Cups, I mean, it's the second time in 2 years that I've actually picked up the FA Cup trophy. So I'm making, a bit of consistency in that competition, which is lovely. But I'm also being very consistent in finishing in this second place spot here in the Premier League, which is not great. And of course, on the final day of the season, drawing to Liverpool 0-0, which is a good result, but you beat me just a few games before it with 3 quite late goals as well, and that's obviously not helped my situation at all, because Tottenham end up winning the league. They did have a superior goal difference to me, so if I did beat Liverpool, I'd have had to have beaten them by 6 goals or more.
Or if you beat me.
But if I had beaten you,
you'd have 3 points there.
I'd have had the 3 points and 1. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I'm going to take it. I cost you the league.
Yeah, I needed to beat Liverpool 6-0. I needed Tottenham to drop points, and that just didn't. Neither of those things happened. But yeah, that's.
You're definitely knocking on the door, though, mate, aren't you?
Oh, it's so frustrating. I was never actually top, which is a little bit heartwarming in some ways. That it isn't as disappointing now.
Yeah,
but
considering how close you finished to Spurs.
Yeah. But Spurs jumped up
They come up
because
from
it was
nowhere, then.
Yeah, it was Liverpool was there, City was top for the majority of the season.
City lost it, really, didn't they? Because they were there most of the season.
Yeah, they chucked, and they were there near the end as well. And if you think where they ended up finishing in 4th place, something like they're 5 points off, because they had the best goal difference in the league. So they had a very bad end of the season. They also have the top goal scorer in Sebastian Belay, who looks great. Romanian, 6'7".
Finishing 19.
Yeah, he looks great, doesn't he? So he was also the highest average rating, the most player of the matches with 13, with the one behind him having 8.
Right.
So Sandro Veloso was up there down with 20 goals, though.
Pleased with that.
Yeah, he snuck in there. Jose Delgado had 11 clean sheets. And other than that, Christian Morel had 14 assists. It's such a disappointing season. I'm very annoyed not to see my striker getting a lot of goals there. I don't know where he ended up finishing in terms of the goals, but there he is, 8th place with just 18 league goals. It's not amazing. It's a bit disappointing, to be honest, since he's come in. Yeah. But all right, well, isn't to be in season number 21. But the top goal scorer for me was Agulu with 30 and 13. That doesn't look too bad.
No.
It's just a shame that it wasn't enough in the league. I think more league goals and we would have been laughing.
To score 30 goals, but also assist for 13.
Yeah.
That's hell of a good, I feel.
It is, yeah. Goal contribution for 43 is not too bad in sort of 56 games.
You're definitely right with your next striker really sort of let you down, really.
Yeah. But the right-back signing
what a season that guy's
of Darren Mute. 19
goals.
Yeah.
13
and 13.
assists.
And I just want to show, right, he played right-back. Here's the form. Right back or left back. So he didn't play anywhere else. He is scoring sometimes twice a game. And guess what? No penalties.
It's good.
No penalties. So he scored 10 Premier League goals just from right back or left back. 19 across the whole season. And none of them were penalties. Which is quite outstanding, to be honest.
That's close to being the top midfield player.
Yeah. Probably higher than a midfield player. But with 13 assists as well, I think he had the highest average rating for me. He did. It was a lot of money and a lot of installments, but it was probably worth it.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm really happy with that. Transfer budget for next season, £26 million, but a very good wage budget. So, sell a player maybe. That's on the cusp of it, and I could get, again, one big player, which I think is my aim now. I think I've got a good enough team. Just keep adding just one world-class player. Dad, let's have a look at your side, though. 25 goals from Sandro Veloso.
Yeah, I'm pleased with that.
You got 3, though, around the 20 mark, which is kind of what you always aim to have.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
They're assisting each other by the looks of it.
I mean, it's obvious. I'm happy with the strike force. Obviously, something went wrong somewhere else, so I don't think I need to touch the strike force, really. I'm just going to look at something else. But probably a little bit better midfield, possibly 2 centre defenders. Probably could do.
We are struggling to find good defenders, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
That is something that I've struggled with a lot, is finding very good centre-backs.
Yeah.
There's enough strikers in the world to go around.
You can find them easy at the moment, can't you?
But it's the centre-backs that we are really struggling with finding. So, your transfer budget for next season, 2 million. 2 million.
I don't know what I've done to the board. I must have really upset them. But
Your finances are worse. Yeah. You got no debts though.
I mean, I haven't been overspending or anything like that and being silly.
You got £16 million transfer debt.
Yeah.
£84 million net debt.
So, well, obviously doing well in the Prem is just not good enough for them. I need to get into the Champions League, and that's where the big money is, isn't it? But
yeah, I mean, you got to the round of 16 of the Champions League.
I'm trying.
So, which is where I defeated Inter Milan. You obviously got past, couldn't get past Bayern Munich
for a game 8-6.
Yeah, on aggregate.
Yeah.
The quarterfinal was where I unfortunately fell 9-3 on aggregate to Manchester City. Bayern Munich, actually, who knocked you out, went on to win the whole thing. They beat Real Madrid in the final 4-1. So, the league phase, we were both in the playoff spots. I lost 3 games and won 5, where I actually beat you again.
Yeah, you played me in that one, yeah.
1-2-1 against you away from home. You lost 2, which of course 1 was against me. Galatasaray was the other one. They still got an unbelievable team. Considering I was still their best striker a few seasons ago. 3 draws and 3 wins there. Nice little 5-0 against Malmo. But yeah, not good enough. But we'll see then this summer what it brings, because you've got no money whatsoever. I've got just enough, I think, to possibly bring in a world-class player or two. It was selling time again for Dad as he let his striker go for £60 million that was just sat on his bench all year. And he already has 3 options poised and ready to try and bring in with the money. I was in a similar situation. I sold my right-back Mateus and brought in a Brazilian option for £15 million. After torturing us for years with their dominance, a new manager was taken over at Liverpool though. But both of us were too focused on the best keeper in the world popping up as a free transfer, and both Dad and I put our offers on the table to sign him. However, he rejected us and decided to join Arsenal instead, and we were both gutted. Annoyingly again this year, another big injury to Ronan, which sees him miss the start of the campaign. Which means he also missed an insane match between Dad and I at the start of the season that's seen 9 goals in total in a back and forth tie at Sutton United Stadium. Well, after the transfer strategy that I had going out the window, I'm very happy with the start that we made the season. A nice little 5-4 win over Dad there. A cracking end of the game. Unbelievable game where a girl who got the winner in the 83rd minute. Lovely stuff. But
good game.
Yeah. That was
disappointed with that. So
entertaining. But I did lose to Liverpool. Oh no, sorry, this is you. Sorry, you lost to Liverpool at the start of the season.
Funny, I played Liverpool first game last season.
Yeah. At home this time round.
Yeah,
and
they
done you in the 87th minute.
Go on, say it.
What?
I love a late goal.
Not that late. It's all right. The schedule for me, I lost obviously to Sheffield Wednesday, which is a bad result, but the rest of the fixtures have been very good. As I mentioned, the transfer strategy that I had was go for world-class players and see if I could just add 1 or 2. Yeah, that went out the window. I could find a world-class player who wanted to join me, who I thought would be worth it. I sold Mateus for £39 million, which did give me a lot of money, as well as Azua and Kone. Actually, Kone went last season. Azua, 31-year-old winger, went for £13 million. Now, I do think the replacements that I make, I mean, I did raid Brazil quite heavily there. There's 2 there, and there's also an Argentinian player that's come in. Juninho, £15 million, 28-year-old. What was he doing in the Brazilian league for so long? He's great.
Yeah.
Brought him across, so he looks fantastic to play on the left wing. Not amazing, but for £15 million, worth it. Marcio from Botafogo. Not a bad striker, but this was just a bit of a backup, if I'm honest. The main 2 players was Mbata. He looks okay. The reason why I got him is he plays in so many different positions. I'm kind of looking at him for that centre attacking midfield role as an option off the bench. And then finally, Diego Lopez from Racing Club, £20 million, again, to play in that position as an option off the bench.
Yeah, you haven't signed world-class players, but you definitely made your squad stronger.
Yeah, just more depth, I guess.
Yeah.
There's injuries again, though, Dad, because Ronan McLaughlin broke his foot in the middle of July, so he's missed the start of the season again. Pascal Julian is also out for a while, and Juninho, who's just come in, is returning imminently after being out.
I reckon you get all your new signings together and says, right, one of you's got to have an injury.
Yeah. Yeah, who's it going to be?
Yeah.
Which one of you is going to go out and do something silly?
Yeah.
Anyway, I have changed formation, though, moving away from that 4-2-2 now. We'll go into a 4-2-3-1, but with 2 centre attacking midfielders. We've got options there now. And, of course, I sold my right midfielder and didn't replace him. So I kind of needed to bring in somebody like that. However, it does put Fourcade up front right now instead of Ergurlu, which I'm a bit, I don't know about that. Because Fourcade is good on the left. I think Aguero a better striker. That's Fourcade, and then we're looking at Aguero, and I'm looking at him going, he is way better up front with that off the ball, the pace, the 19th of finishing.
The two, I think, is that he's very strong on the left. Your other guy is both footed.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, which the computer might see as like he's a better player.
You should play one up front so he can do ball coming from either side.
I disagree, though.
I disagree with it, but that's the only thing I can see why the computer might have done it.
Yeah, I mean, he's only got 28 goals for me in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
It's not amazing, but we'll see. So yeah, we're changing to a 4-2-3-1. We'll see how that goes in this season. But the start looked okay until the Sheffield Wednesday game where I failed to score a goal. However, Aguero didn't play in that, and you can see there, Fourcade only got a 6.3.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It is weird when you think of how many goals you did score in the other games.
Yeah.
There was 2 5s there.
Yeah. Let's have a look at your transfer budget then, Dad. Or transfer window, because you sold £60 million worth. James Laguerre.
I needed a bit of money. 31, 60 million. Oh, I'm going to take it every day of the week, you know.
Yeah, very good deal.
Yeah. I know I've got to get another striker in.
You replaced him so well. For a tenth of the price.
Yeah. I mean, this guy...
23 years old, way better.
He's better, yeah. And for 6 million, what a bargain that is.
Yeah.
So that's given me like 50-odd million now to play with now, so a good bit of business, I feel.
Yeah, and you brought in Bruno Cesar at left back.
I mean, like I said, I thought I just conceded too many goals. I've got a world-class right back. Now I think I've got a very, very good left back. So, yeah, pleased with that signing.
Still fairly young as well. He's only 24.
24, yeah, so it's good for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And tactically, you've slightly altered it there. So I think you had a play over here last time. I think you've put him more central in that attacking midfield role. You can see looking very similar to almost like a diamond, but still using that morale on the right hand side.
Yeah.
He was very good, and trusting Bruno Cesar, who is a good attacking left back with that high crossing ability. He's got great stamina and natural fitness to get up and down the pitch.
Yeah.
Going forward and getting back.
I mean, I know I'll score goals with them two up front as well, so that's all I've got to do really is stop conceding goals.
Yeah. All right, well, we know the task in hand. Of course, you've got Europa League football this season, Dad, instead of the Champions League.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm in the Champions League, but it's all about the Premier League title. We've been we're 22 seasons in now. This is our 22nd season. The season preview puts us in 5th and 6th. Well, I don't think we've ever been favourites, but it's nice that we haven't looked at the season preview for a while. It's nice to just not be down the bottom for a time. So let's see what happens in the season number 22 of Race to the Prem. So with the fixture against Dad out the way, I was focused on the other title chasers with a loss to Spurs, but a nice win over Liverpool. Dad was having silly points dropped, but was still putting up good performances and scoring a lot of goals. In terms of the title race though, it was the two North London sides at the top of the league, as I was sat in 3rd place and 5 points behind Arsenal. Mid-January, and it was another clash between Hartlepool and Sutton in the league, and in the 91st minute, a winner from my Sutton side clinched a 3-2 win in Hartlepool. But it's surprising how things can change a couple of months later, as I'm out of everything in the end of March other than the Premier League, and I'm holding on to the coattails of Liverpool with 8 games left. April, however, was our time to shine, and we came through some difficult fixtures, winning 5 and drawing 1. Whereas Liverpool dropped many more points and only won 2 of their games in April, meaning we jump ahead of them by 3 points with just 2 games to go, and surely we can't lose this again like we did last time. Well, in the penultimate fixture against Brentford, we kept up our winning ways, beating them 2-0, while Liverpool battered Everton with 22 shots to 1 and failed to score a single goal, meaning we were crowned champions, and the final fixture, which we lost, didn't matter anyway, and Sutton United have finally done it and are Premier League champions. Well, there we have it. It's finally done. The race to the Prem is over.
Spurs let me down. Look how many goals they conceded. Games they drew, sorry. 11, that's what...
Way too many.
Yeah, only lost 3.
I won it with a game to go.
Yeah, well done.
I lost the final game of the season to Arsenal.
If I had a hat, I'd take it off and give... Well done, son.
I'll tip my own.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Finally, the race to the Prem is over. Dad, you had a big chance, though, at the final part of the season. Runner-up in the Europa League, losing to fellow English side and London side, West Ham United. So they were down in 13th place in the league.
Disappointed with that, really.
but the race to the Prem was the main goal.
If you look at my players, they're top of nearly everything there.
Yeah, Sandro Veloso's dominated the player statistics.
Yeah.
He is gutted. He picked the wrong team to join. He got the most goals of the season, the highest average rating, the most player of the matches. Christian Morel got 20 assists, but wasn't good enough. Just in behind them was Agerlu there, and Darren Moit there, who also had the most yellow cards of 15, but Agerlu also had 12 assists. Finally, he got firing, and we finally went and completed the challenge. Let's have a look at your team first, though, Dad. 33 goals from Sandro Veloso, 10 assists. Very good.
I'm pleased with that. 2 strikers in,
Yeah, 28 from Pedro Sano.
Average, so yeah, I'm really pleased with that.
Yeah, he's looking really good now.
I conceded too many goals. The goal difference was, I think, 25. Yours was in the 40s, so
yeah,
I conceded too many goals again. So.
Even your third striker there done very well.
I mean, with the age I've got in there now, that I'm just starting to build a very, very good side. Where I can think about not even have to sort of like bring players in.
Yeah.
Or do what you've done, just bringing one player in, but the board won't back in me, so I've got to sell players all the time.
Yeah, you only had 2 players that are in their 13, Stuart Patton and Kuradu, who were just turning 30.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you only had £1 million going into next season. It would have been the same as last season.
I'd have been selling the 2 30-year-olds to get one player in, I think, there. So.
Whereas on the other hand, if we're looking at age on my team, I mean, I did get rid of quite a lot recently. But yeah, I had goalkeeper just turned 30. He was unbelievable signing, by the way. If you think I picked him up for £13 million from Barcelona, and he was my #1 goalkeeper for a long time in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's still good as well, yeah.
But
I mean, 30's young for a keeper as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Gerlu, though, finally got the amount of goals that I was hoping he would, with 15 assists.
Yeah.
Turned into a quality player. I mean, how are they only giving him 3.5 stars? That is absolutely mental. I don't know whether it's because probably McLaughlin, is just too good.
Yeah.
But I think he's the MVP of the race to the Prem for me.
100%.
You think I signed him for 500k?
Oh, that's an unbelievable price, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was just world class, just absolutely phenomenal.
And the thing is, as well, you played him in. Well, you didn't play him, but he played in his wrong position. When you finally
for like
got
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, when you finally got him in where you wanted him to play.
Yeah.
That's when you went from that stage to the next stage, really, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. The centre-back pick was quite good. He's got a lot better. We don't really look at that, to be honest, but he got very good. And I think, again, I didn't actually sign him for too much either. He was 1.4 million.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean,
again,
when you look at your team, there's a lot of teams there with 5 stars.
Yeah, Juan.
Yeah.
£76 million from Real Madrid. If you remember, I loaned him one season and then signed him for the rest. Obviously, Darren came in recently for a lot of money, £85 million. But and this guy was quite cheap, I think, the South African, for another 500k pickup there, and he was again fantastic. So it was a mixture really of finding little gems like that, but also paying the world-class fees when I could. I mean, they gave me £43 million to spend, but there we have it. None of us won the Champions League.
No.
We did win European competitions, Europa League, Europa Conference, but none of us won the Champions
I'm quite
League.
pleased with that, yeah.
But we've done very well in terms of race to the Prem.
I'm going to blame Hartlepool for my failure. Tell you why? I was always cold, mate. I was freezing all the time. I never had a scarf or an hat or nothing.
That's true, yeah.
So I'm going to blame Hartlepool for this. If you'd sent me something, I could have concentrated a bit better, and I might have got it better.
Sutton looked after me.
Well done, Sutton, for looking after this guy.
And you got what you deserved. Sweating. Got a scarf on a hat with a big light pointing at me. I'm sweating. But yeah, I'm glad I could do it for Sutton United. Winning the race to the Prem. We really hope you enjoyed this series because we really did enjoy doing it.
It was good fun.
22 seasons it took us. Probably you could do it a lot faster, but I had a lot of fun along the way. But it does mean now that you need to subscribe and turn the notification bell on because you don't know what type of challenge we are going to do next. But if you are looking for a video up until that point, then why not check out this video on screen right now, because Dad and I made ourselves as players, and boy was that fun.
Yeah,
go check it out.